AMD. This stock has been on my watch list for a very long time. Now, we've seen this stock make a couple of large moves in the past. We've seen these A+ setups from this stock specifically, and now I'm going to show you guys what I am anticipating, what targets I'm looking for on AMD, and when that move can potentially happen. Okay, and we always start on the higher time frame. I am on the monthly chart here. Each candle is a month, and we're going to mark some areas on the chart. We're going to understand what price is going to do next. Now, the strategy and the concepts I use are going to be the ICT concepts. Okay, stands for Inner Circle Trader, and the reason why I use these concepts is because it shows, in my opinion, it truly shows how price moves and how price books. Okay, based on the AMD chart here is where we are at. And before I dive into where we are looking at in this area here, I really want to delve deeper into what AMD has done in the past. So on the charts here, we can scoot to this empty blank space here, and I want to draw your guys' attention to something very important. If we go ahead and look here, I'm going to grab my little arrow tool here, and I'm going to draw something just so you guys can see and kind of get a picture of what I am drawing. Okay, so if we go ahead and take a look here, this is what we call a trend, right? As you all are taught, as everybody is taught, this is what a trend is. Okay, and this is a resistance line. However, based on the algorithm, the market does run an algorithm. This is that pattern that we're looking at here on AMD. Okay, if we go ahead and take a look here, we have these highs here that are forming, right? If we go ahead and look here, we have these lower highs here that were formed on AMD prior. And how can I tell that this is what AMD is exactly doing? Well, I can just see on the higher time frame, there's liquidity, right? Every single one of these points, this high here is liquidity. This is buy side liquidity. These highs here, these relative equal highs that are almost equal, that's liquidity. This is also liquidity. Okay, buy side liquidity is the wicks and are the wicks that are on top towards the buy side. Okay, anything that is towards the sell side, we call it, it's not rocket science, sell side liquidity, right? So this is sell side liquidity, this is sell side liquidity. You guys get the point. All right, now why am I pointing this out? Why is this important? If we take a look at the structure here, whenever price tends to give this to us, we are looking for price to take that liquidity out. This is where all our stops are resting. This is where the algorithm, market makers, and institutions wipe this liquidity out. And price tends to move fairly fast through these areas, meaning we'll get something like this, right? Where we see price just taking out all of this liquidity, these highs. This is that structure I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at. Just to show you guys here really quick, we have been bullish on Tesla since April and May of this year, of 2024. Now, this is the same exact structure that we're seeing here with Tesla. Liquidity, these highs here, these highs here, these highs here. We traded all the way down here, and we engineered more liquidity on the lower time frame there. Finally taking it all out with what? With absolute speed, right? We can see all that being taken out. Now, this is the same similar structure that I'm going ahead and taking a look at on AMD. But what is keeping me bullish? Why? What structure am I looking at? How can I tell where the low is? How can I tell and anticipate what price is going to do next? I'm going to take us back all the way to September and November. I would just say really November of 2022. Now, what am I looking at here on the monthly chart in itself? We always have to mark our higher time frame levels. I'm on the monthly chart. The monthly triumphs over weekly, over daily, over all the lower time frames. Now, if you want to understand what's going on within these areas here where it's bottoming out, then you would go down to the lower time frame. But if we go ahead and look here, we can really see that there is a fair value gap right at this level here. Now, why am I grabbing this little box here? And oh, coincidentally, this box, we can see AMD's price down here is holding very, very well. Now, if we go look here, this is a fair value gap, otherwise known as a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And just to keep that simple, we call that a BISI. Okay. If we go ahead and look here, all price does is it moves to a premium, then seeks a discounted level to then continue and push up higher. Okay, that's all the stocks do. Seek liquidity, seek more liquidity in a discount, seek liquidity, taking these highs out, discount, and it continues. That's what we see with a chart, right? In this case, what's going on? We are seeing price trading into this BISI right here a little bit, then launching, and then coming back down all the way, revisiting this fair value gap. So whenever I say fair value gap or BISI, it's the same thing, right? If I go ahead and write it here, FVG stands for fair value gap, and BISI stands for buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. These two are the same thing. A BISI is a bullish one, and a SIBI is a bearish one, right? In this case, we're looking at a BISI, and this is what we're looking at right over here. If you go ahead and look at this area, this is from July 1st, 2020. This is that monthly candle. And this is a fair value gap where no wicks are covering the body of this candle. If we look at the wick here and the wick here, there's absolutely no wicks covering the body of this candle. Price trades into that range. We don't see a single close below this area. And what does price begin to do? It begins to continue to push up higher, taking out all of this low resistance liquidity. Remember, same exact thing, low resistance liquidity being taken out with such speed here and then here. Now let's take a look and see where else this has been replicated on the higher time frame. We have a BISI here. Take a look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Also an order block right over here. Even more confluence. Now let's take a look and understand what we are noticing here on AMD at the present time. It is the end of December. We're going into the next year, and I do want to say that this may potentially be the bottom for AMD. Okay, and I do want to see 187 up here, 187.24. I want to see this high here, and eventually I want to see all-time highs on AMD right up here. These are all of our buy side targets. Now let's go ahead and dive into AMD. Let's take a look at it. We have a BISI here, and we have a BISI right over here. Now keep an eye on both of these. This is very, very important, okay? If you go ahead and look here just based on structure, what is price doing? Price is trading up into a premium, taking out what? Buy side liquidity right up here, okay? That's an old high. We see price trades above it, then now is trading into a discount. And what are we looking for next? Price to continue to push up, okay? If we go ahead and take a look at these areas, we can see that the monthly candle still has not closed yet. If we look here, there's 7 days and 18 hours left for this monthly candle to close. Now, if we zoom into this area here, I want to see a close in this box. I don't want to see a close below it. I want to see price trade back all the way up, at least to 129. And I want to see it hold here and start continuing to push up going into 2025. This is my 2025 swing. There is also another fair value gap here. There was also one here. However, we closed through that, and all price wanted was a deeper move into a discounted price range, and which is, you know, these fair value gaps down here. If we go ahead and take a look at these fair value gaps, we can understand and see that this is an area where price is at a discount and price may potentially want to bottom out here. We also took sell side liquidity here. We took a low out, we reacted. Now I'm looking for this monthly candle to close above. Now take a look at this here. This is our monthly fair value gap. This is another one. Now I would have really liked to see a wick down here, right? We don't see a wick there. However, if we go to the weekly, we can also see that there is absolutely no wick down here, right? Not in this green box. Now this is very important. What a lot of people don't do, this is some secret sauce, if you go down into the extended trading hours option, you can find your extra data. Now, what does that exactly mean? We're looking at pre-market, we're looking at post-market. That is where they get you. And these are important levels, and these are institutional levels. And this is how price books and how price moves. Let's take a look at the 18-hour, which is one of my favorites. If we take a look here, we can see that price tapped the top of that box nearly perfectly. Now, eventually what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a continuation. I want to see price close above this high up here. Let me go down to the 4-hour. I want to see price close above 127.74, and keep in mind, this green range is that monthly fair value gap, right? If we're looking at a monthly fair value gap, we're looking at a close above that monthly fair value gap. If it was a weekly one, we would have been looking for a close on the weekly chart for a weekly candle to close above that, right? This is very, very important. A close above here on the 4-hour, 132.74, will eventually have this entire stock just start continuing, pushing up towards liquidity up here, 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 our 187 level, which we have relative equal highs, which is a magnet, and then eventually all-time highs. Now, this is something that can take much more time, and the time I'm looking for this move to start is going to be in the beginning of January. And of course, I would really love to see 187 touch by somewhere around May and June of 2025. All right, that is what I am looking for. These are very important areas we need to keep our eye on. We can definitely see some consolidation here, meaning price may move around in this range for quite a bit, just taking its time and then eventually continuing to push up and distributing to those levels up there. Okay, very bullish on AMD. Again, the monthly chart is absolutely bullish. We are looking for a close above, and please note this down, note and see how price closes above 125.73. Very important level. We are keeping an eye on that, and we're going to see how this plays out. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review and analysis of AMD. If you guys are more interested in videos like this, please do comment down below. Make sure you drop a like below and subscribe as well. And we have a fantastic community full of traders, the DTT trading community. If you guys are interested, please do go ahead and drop by in the Discord. And with that being said, much love to everybody, and I hope to catch you guys next time.